Hey, what's up, guys? It's been I think a couple weeks, so you're due for an update. And also, I was talking. I think it's Alex Davis who sometimes leaves comments on my videos. He, over the course of a conversation with him, he brought up something that actually, like, it really made me think. So I was gonna kind of speak on that today. But doing okay. Still crowding free. I actually just hit my month again. I want to say like Friday of last week. So back on track, and just trying to kind of ride the wave. It's all that cliche stuff. One day at a time and all that. But it's cliche because it's true. So I think the last time I made the video, that was like probably a pretty up period. Like I said in the video, doing all the right things. Life starts to slow down a little bit. And then I think since then, it's been kind of a mix of both, days like that, and then days where, I'm trying to kind of grasp onto it, and some days are easier than others. And I know it's kind of really frustrating sometimes, because I know on the days that if I'm kind of stuck inside myself, or I'm, resenting something, or, keep going back to the past to drag something, to the present to complain about. It's like I could see myself doing that now. Like I see it very clearly. And the second I get angry with anybody, or even show the sign of resentment with somebody, then that's a very big clue that my self-will is about to, push this whole mess to the next level. So it's very frustrating when you can kind of see it and you can't get out of it sometimes. But more times than not, if I do the right thing, which is whether call somebody or pray or just stop and, read some literature for 15 minutes, read some scripture, more times than not, I can get a hold of that peace again. Or, I would just call it peace. So it's been a kind of a mix of that over the last couple weeks. Some days, really good. Some days, I won't even call them bad days. It's just that, kind of just in, the funk of life. But I do want to touch base on, I think Alex commented on the last video, or maybe on the video about the relapse. He's like, yeah, because I said I took a MIT 45 shot. That was my first step, going back out. And he even said, he's like, man, those are strong. And I had to stop and think about it, because he's absolutely right. It was strong. And that just shows it's absolutely 1,000% true that the disease of addiction is progressive. And it doesn't matter how much time you have off. You can quit for 5 years. You can quit for 2 weeks. If you do end up going back out, you will always pick up exactly where you left off. Because for me, I mean, I hadn't had kratom in my system in 2 months at that point. Literally 3 grams of like some probably gas station Bali would have given me that nice warm, blanket feeling. But I didn't want that. No, I had to go for the $20, for a single dose, as strong as it could possibly be. It's an extract, so it's literally concentrated. And that's where I started with. And so, I mean, that just goes to show you. And I made that mistake a couple more times, and thank goodness it didn't keep going, because now think of it. I just went from being able to function without this in my life to like this, developing a $40 to $60 a day habit. If I was lucky, it was going to stay at $40 a day, but probably not. So it's just a very good reminder that this is progressive, and it's a good example that it's just like, man, it's just about. I always get confused with 12-step stuff, because sometimes I hear there's no defense against the first drink or whatever, and in my mind it's like there is a defense against the first drink. It's it's because it's the program and all the tools of the program. There's zero defense against the second drink. Once you have the first pill or whatever, it's over. At least for that day, at least for me, it's over. And if I got very lucky to get out of it in a few days this time, because I don't know. I've just been in that position so many times in the past, and I've failed every single time. I shouldn't say I failed, but I just went the completely wrong direction, which is, I'm going to hide from honesty, and I'm just going to pile this dirt on me. I'm just going to keep digging this hole deeper and deeper and deeper. So I got very lucky, but it did just kind of spring in my mind. It's like, yeah, there's another example of that, picking up where you left off, being progressive, a progressive disease that always does lead to, that's another cliche thing, but in my case, another 1,000% true thing, that the jail, institutions, or death. That's all it will probably ever lead to. And, I've been in jail for binge drinking and being in a blackout and driving and sawing down 2 light poles. That was, a long time ago, but it still happened. I ended up in some institutions because, go figure, when you're whacked out on drugs 24 hours a day, you start to act a little crazy and you start to look crazy. So, go figure, you end up in institutions. But I mean, there's only one box that hasn't been checked there, and God help me if that box gets checked because of drugs, man, what a waste. What a waste of potential. But I don't know. My mind's starting to kind of drift all over the place, so I'm gonna probably call it a day. But just want to say hi to everybody. Been getting a lot of good comments and striking up a lot of good conversations. Somebody did suggest he's a kind of a 12-step guy, but he kind of goes deeper, I think, on the philosophical stuff. His name's Paul Hederman. It's the first I've even learned about this non-duality thing, but it makes total sense. But it's heavy stuff to get into, and I'll probably speak more on a video about that. He goes really deep on what self really is. What's really going on with when you're doing the things you're doing and you're acting out the pathology. What's really going on? Are you doing it, or is the disease doing it? And so he gets really deep into that, and it's an important discussion to have because, I don't know how many times I've ended up at a head shop and really not knowing how I got there, knowing that everything in my body wanted me to not end up there, and I still ended up there. Everything in my brain, but so I'll probably talk more about that at some point. But beautiful day up here. It's finally cooled down a little bit. We're kind of just mid 80s, but it's a bit dry too. So God, it's nice. Yeah, probably go out to a men's meeting night, grab some dinner with my sponsor, and enjoy the rest of the day. All right, love you guys. Hope you're well.